If somebody tells you that killing a villain makes you as bad as a villain, they might be a villain. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my kind of squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about news, announcements, the world of RPGs. Paizo, that's right. In today's video, we are talking about a little announcement Paizo gave out today about a new project in the works called 13 Omens. Yeah, new IP from Paizo. Just for you guys, just to refresh you guys, they are the company that's behind the Pathfinder RPG, the Starfinder RPG, and the Pathfinder 2nd Edition RPG, and the card game, which is fine. So, they put out a little announcement page today. Let's take a little read. Step into the darkness. 13 Omens is a modern, supernatural, rules-light horror tabletop RPG set in a dark reflection of our world. Beset by horrifying monsters, bloodthirsty killers, cursed places, and secrets best left unknown. Designed by Jason Bowman and Joe Pasini, this game features an easy-to-learn game engine that ramps up the tension as the story builds to a terrifying conclusion. There's more news and more horror to come if you step inside, and then of course there's an advertisement for a mailing list to get more updates about the game, and then we do know that later this year, I think next month, there's going to be a big gaming expo over in, I think it's Britain. I literally just read the article. I probably should have saved the article. Doesn't matter. There's going to be a big gaming expo over in Europe, and they're going to do some test sessions of the game over there. I think Jason Bowman's flying out. And that's kind of weird, if I'm being honest, because Paizo, I thought, was an American company. So having their new brand debut somewhere else is... it is what it is. But yeah, that's the announcement. There's a brand new game coming from Paizo. One that seems to be steeped entirely in horror rather than the high fantasy of Pathfinder or the space opera-ness of Starfinder. I'm going to be honest, Starfinder to me has always just kind of felt like Pathfinder with starships applied to it. It's didn't really feel like its own distinct genre. But it looks, to me, at least from this initial announcement, that this new game, 13 Omens, is going to be a different approach to tabletop RPGs, a more roleplay-friendly approach to RPGs, because they do say it's rules light and designed to be easy to pick up, which does raise... that does raise some questions. There was mention of a communal dice bag and omen dice, which will get increasing presence as the game goes on. There was some more emphasis that the game engine itself would be more dangerous than your average game of Pathfinder in one of the articles I looked at. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a more horror-themed, dangerous, heavy emphasis on fluff and roleplay kind of game. And that's pretty neat because up till now, a lot of what Paizo has put out has been very crunchy, very rules-heavy. With a lot of Pathfinder books, yes, don't get me wrong, a lot of the Pathfinder books, especially a lot of the thin books, can be full to the brim with lore and character info and basic breakdowns of how the city is populated and what you can find inside, the stores and all that jazz. There's a lot of that there. But there's also a lot of crunch to Pathfinder to the point where a lot of things you can imagine for Pathfinder have rules for them. Telekinesis and all that jazz. All kinds of crazy character designs have rules for them. So it's really interesting. And of course it extends to Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Starfinder. These are all very rules-heavy games that have a lot of crunch to them and a lot of mechanical depth. You know, the average game of Pathfinder can have so much going on that combat looks like a giant math equation for some games. It's really crazy. And I can say that with some confidence because I've run a lot of Pathfinder games over the last decade, and some of them can get very not action heavy, so much as what actions you can take heavy. Understand what I'm trying to say there? So in theory, putting our best foot forward, being optimistic about it, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think a role play heavy rules light game that's easy to get into and focuses more on the scary aspect of the horror medium can be, I think it can work well. I know I'm very confident in Paizo's ability to create horror, by the way. That I have no doubt of. I think 13 Omens, whatever the mechanical basis will end up being, whatever the actual rules end up being, I am at the very least confident that the horror aspect of the game will be present and probably pretty decent, because in the past they've done a fairly solid job when it comes to portraying horror in both Pathfinder and Starfinder. In fact, I have gone on record before, and I'll say it again, Strange Aeons is one of my favorite adventure paths in the Pathfinder system, and it's one of my favorite pre-built adventures for any game system. And this thing is a horror, basically one giant horror anthology, one terrifying thing after the next, right? And it's really well done. And so my confidence that Paizo can build a horror game that is actually a good horror game, it's very founded in a lot of experiences with not, of course, just Strange Aeons, but a lot of other Pathfinder adventures, society scenarios. There's a lot of horror-themed ones that are pretty great. Just good stuff all around. So I'm pretty optimistic there. I'm just kind of, I don't want to say skeptical that a rules-light system is in Paizo's purview, but when it comes to things that are more role-play heavy, it's not that I think you should be careful with it, it's that I think you have to understand your audience well. The kind of people who are going into a rules-light game are the kind of people who really like to role-play things. They like to sit there and chat with their friends, have fun with their characters. And I'm not saying that can't be horror intensive. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think that is a great place to put intensive horror, just so we're clear. But I do think that for a lot of character customization, Paizo has a really good track record of mechanically giving players what they want, and in a rules-light setting, understandable. Not every horror game not every horror story is gonna have a good reason for you to have all the mechanical complexity in the world. But a rules-light one is just something to be careful is all. That's all. I'm not against fluff. I'm not against heavy role-play games. It's not my bag of tricks. It's not what I want to do. I want to sit down and make a character and play as that character and have fun with that character and all that jazz. And you can totally do that with a fluff-heavy game. But I find a crunch-heavy game is better for tinkering with the system and seeing what kind of fun you can have with the rules as presented. But honestly, that's really all we have to say so far. Like I said, I think there was talk in one of the articles about communal dice. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. Something about Omen dice, which will be increased throughout the game and are, in theory, what's used to ramp up the horror aspects, whatever that ends up being, whether you're being chased by more ghosts based on the dice or the serial killer gets stronger based on the dice. I don't know yet. Like I said, this is just a light announcement. We have no specifics whatsoever on the actual mechanics or core info of the game yet. I'm just optimistic because, well, like I said before, I have seen firsthand that Paizo is capable of doing good horror, and I'm hopeful that 13 Omens is more of that good horror. That's all I'll say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. I do read all the comments you guys leave on the videos, and I do appreciate them very much. Of course, check out the Discord, the Patreon, the TCG player link, all that good jazz. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.